Hi everyone, I'm Watercrow. Today let's talk about the Git workflow. How do you use Git to manage your projects? When I started to get my hands dirty with Git in the command line back in 2015, I was always frustrated that I couldn't remember the exact subcommands or the arguments even though I understood how it worked. The workflow was not productive until I met Magic. Its user interface is intuitive and all Git commands are well organized in a dedicated buffer. So in this video, I'm going to show you the productive Git workflow using Magic. The first thing is to clone a repo. Take my ppcompile package as an example. Then type lx magic clone emacs. Choose URL by type U and paste in the URL. And then select the local directory and type Y to confirm it as the default remote push. When it finishes, a status buffer called Magic ppcompile will pop up the entrance into the Magic world. All Magic operations start from here. There are sections in this buffer that show information about this repo, but right now it has only a recent commit section which briefly lists the top recent commits. The way we interact with Magic is consistent within all Magic buffers. For example, we can hide and show a section by typing tab and P to move the point up and N to move the point down. The UI is great and it works in an interactive way so that it doesn't overwhelm us by showing unnecessary details. Typically, we need 2 steps to perform a task. For example, to show the logs of current branch, first type L to bring up the log menu. We can see that there are some options at the top and secondary commands at the bottom. We can also see that the limit number of commits is set to 256 by default. And then we can change the option by typing the letters indicated at the beginning of the line. So let's try to change it to 10. First type -n to cancel the limit, and then type -n again, and you will ask us a number, then input 10 and type enter. We can see that the limit number is set to 10 right now. And finally type L to show the logs of the current branch. It exactly shows the top 10 commits as we specified. And if we want to show more history, we can just type the plus sign as indicated here, which is very nice. We can also explore other functionalities using the help menu. Type H to bring it up. There are quite a few commands here, but I only use some of them on a day-to-day basis, like branch and commit and log. Quick list menu by type Ctrl G. Now let's make some changes. First, let's create a new branch by type B and then type C to make a new branch. And starting at master, leave it as default. And then the name for the new branch, let's say polish docs. Enter to make it happen. Open readme.org and make some changes to it. To save typing, let me copy the readme file that I've prepared to override it. Now let's get back to the status buffer by typing Ctrl X, C. As you can see, we have another section called Unstage Changes this time. It lists out the files having unstage changes. As mentioned before, we can tap to hide and show the diffs. Hide and show the hanks. A file may have more than one change area called hanks in Git. Also, we can tab to toggle them. 3 operations we may want to perform: S for stage, U for unstage, and K for discarding changes. What's under point is the object to be manipulated. For example, if a point is on a hank, type S will stage the hank, as we can see from the stage changes section. Or if the point is on a file, the operation is on that file. For example, type U to unstage this file. Besides files and hanks, we can also manipulate part of a hank, which is amazing. Let's say we want only this part of the hank is staged. We can do it, type Control space to set a mark, and then move the pointer down by Control N to draw a region, and then type S to stage this part. Then we can see that only that part is staged, which is perfect. Now let's assume we've finished the editing and it's time to commit the changes. Type C to bring up the commit menu, and then type C again to start committing, and then fill in the commit message. And type Control C and Control C again to submit the commit. That's almost everything you need to know about committing. When we are done with the local branch, we should push the code back to the remote repo. In the status buffer, type capital P to bring out the push menu, and then select P as indicated here to push it to origin/push docs. When you finish, we can see that now there is also a origin/polish docs branch here, as indicated here. I often rebase a branch from the log buffer, but that's beyond the scope of this video. Another type of logs that I use a lot is the log of a column file when I want to know how a file evolves. There is a magic command for that. Type ls magic log buffer file and type enter, and bam. That's how it looks like. It's simple and powerful. Magic is one of my favorite packages. It's the best Git client. If you haven't used it, I definitely recommend you to give it a shot right now. Even if you are not ready to use Emacs heavily, you can use Magic alone as your Git client. If you are wondering how to install it, please refer to the video description below. What? You are running on Microsoft Windows? Oh man, it may be slow depending on your hardware due to the poor performance of forking process on Windows. That's it for this video. If it helps, please hit the like and subscribe button below. I will create more Emacs videos. And comment below if you have any questions or suggestions. See you!